everybody, welcome to Rockinboxes Presents This Week. I am your host, Sean Rockinboxes, and guys, I am ecstatic about my guest. This guy, wow, I really appreciate the fact that, he's just come off of a film, and we're going to get a little bit into that later on in the conversation. But everybody, please welcome my very special guest this week, Clinton Harris. Clinton, how you doing, brother?
I am doing excellent, Sean. Thank you so much for the opportunity again, man. I really, really appreciate this. And I know a lot of my family and friends are watching, so super grateful. Thank you so much.
Oh, you know what? I am ecstatic to have you on. Today the heart was fluttering. I don't know why. I want to say, if Joe is watching, Joe, you're an amazing guy. And, I'm glad I found Clinton through you and many others that I'm, sort of trying to contact. So, so other than that, let's get right into it. I want to go back a little bit. I did some research on you, Clinton, and, let's talk about how you actually got into acting and producing, and what were your influences and who influenced you, or how did you get into it?
Yeah, well, I've been in the military, and I've gone into real estate, car sales, life insurance, annuities, and I've traveled a lot, and I've had a lot of different experiences ranging from this to that. And I got involved in acting, I think it was about a year and some change ago, actually just over 2 years ago. I didn't take it too seriously right away, but my stepmom, Kara, who's watching, by the way, with my father, Greg, she told me AMTC, Actors, Models, Talents for Christ, would be here in Wichita, Kansas, where I'm living currently, and that's my hometown. And so I went to go check it out. And initially it was for modeling. I saw the check mark box for acting, and I said, why not give it a shot? I have some family, I would consider family of mine out in California, and they were trying to get me involved in modeling and acting years ago. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm cool. But yeah, I went to go check it out, and I loved it. Put it on the back burner for real estate, and then things didn't go the way that I had planned for them to go in real estate, and then I brought it back forward. And so I've been pushing really hard in the acting community and modeling since October, consistently. Like every day I'm doing something to drive forward. So,
wow, that's awesome. You said real estate, so that's interesting. Are you in the high end, or does it matter? Whatever, buildings, commercial, or what kind of real estate are you in?
Well, originally I was doing real estate in Florida, and we were using the VA home loan process. So I'm a veteran.
You say it's hard to sell a swamp down there.
Oh man, it was terrible. You step outside 11 o'clock at night, you're sweating in like 5 minutes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's totally fine, totally cool. But yeah, no, it was a learning experience for sure, and I don't regret any of my decisions in terms of any business avenue I have approached. But puts everything into perspective about work ethic. If you want something, you got to go get it, type of thing. Nothing is ever a handout.
Oh, right on. So you're an actor and a producer. I'm
actually not a producer.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was assistant director, or
for a short. But that was just for a short. So I have assistant director credit. But for Beyond Dark and feature films that I'm involved in right now and stepping into, I won't be an assistant director. I'll be an actor.
Oh, okay. Thanks for straightening me out on that. It was the film that you were on was The Equilibrium Life. That was the one you were the assistant director on, and you were also a boom operator, correct?
Yeah, we did. I did. I helped with the boom, and I did some back end stuff, assistant directing. Yeah. It was good, a little short. I think it could be turned into a full-length feature film, but that's my opinion. I think it was a solid piece, pretty in depth, I think. So.
And what style of movie is it? It's a it's I don't have too much information on it, but because it's not scheduled to release, right? Like it's still it's still on the back burner or wherever they put it.
Yeah, it's currently it's already complete post-production. It's been shown, private showing at one of the universities here in Wichita, Kansas, and hopefully it'll be out for the public pretty soon. I'm waiting for the director and the writer to give the go ahead to fully release the film. But yeah, it's a mystery drama, sci-fi. It's in regards to and it's romance also. It's about time travel. That's kind of what I can say. That's the extent of what I can say so far. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch for sure.
That movie or that short in particular, would it go to a festival, a film festival at all?
That'd be cool if it did. It's not my say, unfortunately. It's the head director. It's his say. And I know he's a busy guy. He also works at a university, and he does he's a professor, and he does a lot of professor things. He's always busy. So I assume that he would push it to a couple festivals. I was expecting it this year to be in a couple of our festivals here in Wichita, but that's not the case.
So who were some of your idols growing up as an actor, or growing up? Sorry, who were some of your idols, and do you compare yourself to any of those idols in your acting? While you're acting, do you have is there anybody you can compare yourself to?
Yeah, absolutely. People that I've looked up to, and people that I strive to emulate in a way. I would say that I'm named after Clint Eastwood. So my dad wanted Clint, but my mom was Clinton. Sounds more prestigious, more presentable, business savvy kind of a decision, I think. So I'm named after Clint Eastwood, and I really like his intense, manly grit. Like he says something, it's done. It's a done deal kind of thing.
Right.
I really like that. And another person would be The Rock. I've looked up to him since I was a little kid. Yeah, he didn't start out acting, and I thought wrestling was real at one point, like most people. Yeah. So, but I really look up to him, and I really appreciate what he's done with his clout, his spotlight. It's really amazing. Chris Pratt, newer into the industry, but a phenomenal person to look up to. His sense of humor is ridiculous. I get every other day or every 3 days roughly, oh, you remind me of Chris Pratt. And, the more I look at him, the more I'm like, that's not a bad thing. He's a funny guy, genuine, authentic, real guy. Denzel Washington, Ashton Kutcher, and Hugh Jackman. All of these names, when I see who they are in the spotlight and then behind the scenes, who they are in real life, it's they just emulate and they give off that real genuine vibe. And they're they play their part to the best of their ability with excellence, and then they talk about their faith, and they're not afraid to talk about what they believe in. And they steer away from political conversations, because that's kind of one of those things that as an actor, you want to pick your battles very carefully, because you could push yourself away from the industry pretty quick. So those are the guys that I really look up to.
Before you start getting into your role, how do you prepare?
Well, I can speak specifically out of Beyond Dark, the film that we just completed filming out in North Carolina with L&M Productions and James Burbrick Films. It was with Lauren Bolden, Michelle Lewis, and then James Burbrick was the DP. Now, on set, my character's name is Dalton, and he's a hero of sorts. The backdrop is on BeyondDark.com, or not BeyondDark.com. Beyond Dark, the Facebook page. So if you want to find out more about these individual characters, I really encourage you to go check out what's been said by L&M Productions, what's been described as those individual characters. But my character is a hero of sorts, and so I can really relate to my character Dalton, where he's a tough guy on the surface. He's like this tough guy. He's a man's man, and then something happens, and I can't talk details too much, but something happens, and he becomes very vulnerable, and he shares it. And so he goes from this tough guy to this very vulnerable guy. I can relate with that in a big way. I'm a tough guy, I train martial arts. I was in the military. I've done shooting, a ton of tactical development. And so I'm this tough guy, but at the same time, like how I show my authenticity to my friends, my family, that's my emotional side coming out. So to answer your question, how do I work on that? I just dig deeper into who I already am, because I was cast as Dalton, and it's a beautiful thing because Michelle and Lauren saw that I could pull that role. They saw that in me already. And so it's not a huge jump for me to pick that role, to step into that role. So I sit there and I'm focusing on all the situations that are in the film, that are in the screenplay, what I have to push myself into emotionally. And it's not a huge jump for me because I already relate with this character. I'm always wanting to protect people. That's part of the role that I'm playing, is the protector. So yeah, I just sit down. I'm a very happy, funny, make jokes kind of guy. I'm friends with everybody. But for this, what I've realized in acting is, for me, best situation is for me to step apart and kind of just sit there and not necessarily engage with anybody or not, but focus, like close my eyes and just think, what would Clinton, what would Dalton, what would this character, what I would do? And so that's what I do. I especially the last 8 days of filming, I would sit aside and it worked to my benefit. I got some really great feedback from Michelle and Lauren talking about how they saw me dive deeper and deeper into the character of Dalton. So yeah, I separate and I focus.
That's that was my follow-up question, actually, for who your idols were and how do you prepare for a role. So thanks for explaining that. And I'm sorry I didn't say that. Here's my follow-up. But in any event, you did well, and that was great. And I'm doing well. I'm getting there.
No, you're golden. You're golden, brother.
Thanks, man. You were in the Navy.
Yes, sir.
And I read somewhere that you've done some stunt work. Would this be in the movie? Obviously, you're. I don't know where I read you were a stuntman somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll elaborate a little bit. I was in the Navy. I joined the Navy as an air crewman. Transitioned to air rescue school, and I did combat search and rescue type stuff just for a small period. I got really sick and had to transition to a different job in the Navy. But yeah, so that was one piece of my background that led me into the pursuit of more tactical training, which I have gotten here in the city of Wichita by David Bond, APA Tactical Training Group. I've trained a lot with David. And so he has me as a certified instructor for a handful of different pieces like the pistol, blade, rifle, hand-to-hand combatives. And then on top of that, I've been training jiu-jitsu off and on for the last 7 years, Brazilian jiu-jitsu with Marcio La Selva, and then MMA as well. So all of that taken into consideration, I did have the opportunity to help with stunt work. Yes. On the film for Beyond Dark, I did. And I am grateful for that. That was phenomenal. So, yeah.
Can you talk about where you were posted? And by the way, I'd like to thank you. I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And can you talk about where you were posted at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I did not have the pleasure of deploying to a combat zone, but I was stationed in San Diego, California on the USS Essex LHD-2. And I'm a huge advocate for veterans. I mean, I believe that the freedoms that we have, whether you're in Canada or America, whatever civilized country to an extent of civilized, right? I believe that whatever there is, it needs to be protected. And so, yeah, I love veterans. I support veterans. I support the active duty military. I have a lot of friends that are still in whatever branch, Marine Corps, Navy, Army, Air Force, Coast Guard. My dad actually is watching right now, did 22 years military. And so, yeah, I absolutely love and appreciate the military because, it's a necessity, I think, to a large extent.
Oh, absolutely. I got a text from somebody in private and they're asking, are you single? You don't have to say.
Am I single?
Sorry, someone texted me and said, is he single?
Totally cool.
If someone's watching in secret, they wouldn't say it on the live chat.
They wouldn't say it live. I'm seeing the live chat right here. Hey, Joe, appreciate you. Joe's a phenomenal guy. I love that guy. I'm so grateful to be connected with him. But to answer your question, I'm not digressing. I will answer it. I am single, yes.
All right, so let's go back to Beyond Dark and let's talk about some of the cast members that you were alongside. How were they, and how much fun did you guys have on set?
Oh man, it was such a blast. It was such a good time. I mean, we would offset. We would transition from either adult humor very quickly to in-depth conversations about philosophy, about politics, stuff that normally you would kind of steer away from. We didn't steer away from. Like no one shied away from talking about sensitive subjects, which was kind of interesting to see it play out. But we all kind of meshed really well together. I think that it's so phenomenal looking at the discernment that Michelle and Lauren had when they were casting for this film. It was just it was beautiful. I mean, we all have different opinions on a handful of different things, but the way that we mesh together, I think whoever watches this, whenever anyone watches this film, you're going to see that play out in the film. You can actually see the chemistry. It's there. We lived together for, I think it was 12 total days. We filmed for 10 full days at 12 to 14 hours per day on set. And it was a beautiful thing. I'm really grateful to be a part of it. Seriously, I cannot say it enough. I never want it to be misconstrued. I'd never take anything for granted at all. So go through some cast members. Obviously, Michelle, she plays Johnny. And again, the full backdrop that is disclosed, I would highly encourage people to go look at Beyond Dark, the Facebook page. Just scroll through, look at the backdrop of each individual character. But she plays Johnny. Lauren plays Hannah. Then you have Kenneth, who plays pretty much my brother. I mean, we get in fights. We've known each other since middle school, elementary school, long time. He plays Reese. Then you have Christina, who plays my love interest. She plays Brianna. Then you have LaRon, who plays one of the officers. You have Dusty, who plays one of the officers. You have Zach, who plays the clown. There's that. And then Zany Madcap, who plays Isaiah. Steve, who plays Jeremy. And I think that's all of our characters. James, obviously, behind the scenes, he's the DP, James Burbrick. So phenomenal cast. Like I said, I am so blown away at Michelle and Lauren's discernment to build this cast. And if I don't think I forgot anybody, but if I did, and now you guys are watching, I love all of you. So to the full backdrop, to get a full kind of as much of a full picture as possible, I would encourage everyone watching this feed and anyone who will watch it to go look at Beyond Dark Facebook, so you can look at as much detail as we're allowed to give right now. My trip, all right. So I'm in Wichita, Kansas, and Kenneth Tolbert is in Dallas, and then Christina, she's in Atlanta. So our trip was basically outlined like this. Kenneth drove up the last day of June. He spent the night. We got up early. We drove straight to Alabama, Birmingham, 13 hours straight, nonstop. We camped there at one of the hotels, and then we left Birmingham and drove to Atlanta, picked up Christina, and drove straight up to Raleigh. We got there. We had the rest of the day to kind of relax and recover and start meeting everybody. And then we started the next day. We went 5 days, 4 days straight. We had 1 day break, 6 days straight.
Okay.
And then, the next day we finished some ADR and some headshots, and then we left.
Oh, wow. So there were several locations throughout the film, right? Your different states, yeah?
Well, so all of us were, most of the cast was not living in Raleigh or the surrounding area in North Carolina. Most of us weren't there. I think you got Maryland, Mississippi, North Carolina, Georgia, Texas, Kansas, obviously, Alabama. And I think most of us are outside the state. So the filming locations, most of it was done on in Raleigh, and then the rest of it was done about 4.5 hours away in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah. So the other thing was the movie itself is you guys are menaced by some, something going on. This is what I read. So would you consider it a little bit like Stranger Things, because you guys are menaced by this whatever it is, this presence, And are you guys like, is it like Stranger Things at all? Can you give anything away at all, or no?
So,
You don't
so
have
okay,
to,
so yeah,
it's
a
fine.
suspected friend stalked by menacing presence. That's the IMDb, but also on social
Yeah.
media, it's already pushed out. We have some imaging that's been pushed out these last couple of days, little release by release. It's a clown, but it's not just a clown. It's much more than that. There's much more behind that. So,
Okay.
I know, yeah. So
Without giving too
it's
much
like.
away.
Yeah, so it's like you have to get a full picture of what this on IMDb it states stalked by a menacing presence. Yes, like you had already stated.
Yes.
But to get a full understanding of what that is, it's so much more than a clown. I mean, it's beyond that. You know, it's beyond dark. It's so online on Facebook on the page, the Beyond Dark page, you're gonna see pictures of this clown figure who has been posted up, but it's much more than that.
Well, there you go. So without saying too much, of course. Now, schedule for release. Do you know of a date? Was there anything specified at all, or is that another thing where it just sits and and will it be at the movies? Will it be at theaters?
Yeah, so as of right now, and this also has been kind of pretty much brushed over and disclosed briefly on Facebook as well. Caption. There was someone that commented asking the same question. So as of right now, James and his team, James Burbrick and his team, they're doing editing. So post production is the editing portion, like you know that already. Some
Yeah,
people
right,
don't know that, but this is probably going to take 5 or 6 months to finish the editing. The original guest was February, but it could actually be January. And after it's been edited, what the next step is in the process is releasing it to film festivals. Their goal, the goal is to release it and submit it for Cannes in France, Tribeca in Canada, and then Sundance here in the U.S. And then all the little film festivals that we can get our hands on in the U.S. as well. After the film festivals, after that process is already passed, I believe, to my understanding, the next step is distribution, which they would go to theaters. Hopefully, I'm going to work my tail off to network and to get it in, maybe for a private showing, whatever the case, here in Wichita, Kansas, and see how. And then obviously, Michelle, Lauren, our producer Joe, additional producer that he just joined, and James, we're going to work really hard as a team to get into as many theaters as possible. And then right after that, then you have the Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, those accounts. I've been working, not just the acting industry, but my adult life. I have been busting my tail in so many different arenas. And so I'm super grateful. There's a lot of amazing things that are taking place right now that are behind the scenes that I can't really talk about yet. But I'm super grateful for every ounce of everything that comes my way. So,
absolutely. Yeah. That's a good segue into the next thing. Where do you see yourself in, a couple of years? I mean, do you have any projects that are on the go is what I'm getting at. I've seen some of your stuff on Facebook and you keep posting, hey, guys, I got this, I got that. And, so what's going on?
Yeah. Well, to put in perspective, looking from the outside in, before people decide they want to get into the entertainment industry, or anything. I mean, whether it's music, whether it's acting, whether it's modeling, whatever it is, it looks a lot easier than it is. It's not easy at all, for not even close. Especially when you live in a city or state that there's not a lot of exposure. So you have to, like you had said, you've seen my posts, you have to go out and you have to market yourself. And so I've been doing that a lot, and I've been using, I'm going to plug right here, IMDb and Backstage. So if there are any actors asking about whether or not those two sites are good, IMDb Pro and Backstage, I've been using those. Been working with Delno, my coach. He's phenomenal. I am so grateful for Delno EB. He's an actor who's here in Wichita and making his way out to LA. He's been acting for like 18 years or something like that. Super grateful for him. He's helped me submit to over 25 projects, video submissions, but I personally have submitted to over 90. And like my resume, my headshot, a note kind of thing, cover letters. So as of right now, to bring it full circle to answer your question, in the next year, it's going to be a stark difference from where I am right now. And I'm so grateful for that. Very humbly speaking, I really see at least, I would say 15 to 20 projects that I would have the opportunity to be a part of. And I might be overshooting just a little bit, but I mean, you got to aim for the stars and hit the moon, right? So there's a strategy to that too. So, and then, 2 years from now, I just see some amazing things happening. And like I said, humbly grateful for everything.
With regard to the Beyond Dark, when you were on set, did you get hurt? Was there any moments at all that you can talk about?
I didn't. It wasn't like a crazy pain, but I'm athletic. There was a part of a stunt that we did that my right knee started acting funny, and I just kind of brushed it off and stretched it out a little bit. It was good, but no, nobody got hurt, which is surprising because some of the stuff that we did, you could assume that would be possible, but no, everything was fine. Everything was professional, very critical, very thought out, methodic. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, we all wish you well on it for sure, and we wish everybody else that's also watching that is a part of Beyond Dark. And I can't wait now because I'm very intrigued. So I wanted to touch on a little bit of the other film that's coming out, or what Redemption's Price.
Yes.
It was directors Lauren Boulding, if she's watching.
Michael D. Anglin.
Yep. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
I was like, no, I got you.
I was reading like, oh my gosh, what have I written here? Yeah. Michael. Sorry about that. Yeah. And after watching, I apologize. My bad. You play the role of Sebastian in the movie? Sorry. So you play the role of Sebastian in the movie, and how much can you tell us about the movie?
Well, okay, so they're working on, right now they're scouting location. There's talk about maybe in Louisiana and North Carolina, those two being film locations. Sebastian, my character, very briefly, is a biker. He's kind of like this young-minded. I'm a tough guy, but I'm also like a young, like impressionable, kind of quiet, a little more quiet, but kind of like not a nice guy, not a nice guy, because I'm a biker. And that's kind of it. I mean, I'm grateful for the role. It's a supporting role, and I believe that my part will be filmed in Louisiana. So there's not much to say. There's still a lot of groundwork that's being put into place to complete the pre-production portion of this film. So what happened was we were supposed to start filming, I believe, in September originally, but a couple things have taken place with other films and the casting as well. It's been pushed a little bit further than what it was originally planned for. But yeah, it's a vampire flick. It's dark, thriller based. Romance obviously is involved because it's a vampire film. So and yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be phenomenal. So I love working the set that we just worked. Lauren, Michelle, and then James coming in as the DP. That was phenomenal, the way it was structured. And so I can only imagine, coming into Redemption's Price or even any other project that comes up in the works, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to look like. I don't see the production ever. I don't see the team that is in place ever producing something that's not high quality. But yeah, it's a vampire flick. It's dark, thriller based. Romance obviously is involved because it's a vampire film. So and yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be phenomenal. So I love working the set that we just worked. Lauren, Michelle, and then James coming in as the DP. That was phenomenal, the way it was structured. And so I can only imagine, coming into Redemption's Price or even any other project that comes up in the works, what it's gonna feel like, what it's gonna look like. I don't see the production ever. I don't see the team that is in place ever producing something that's not high quality.
That's awesome. So that is pre-production, right?
Yes. Right now, this is pre-production. So the pre-production is, let's say, pre-production phase of a film is doing revisions on script, scouting location, completing casting or recasting if that needs to be done. making sure the city is good to go, like the law, like lawfully, like you have all the regulations and permits that you need if there are any that are needed. And then travel plans for actors and team, cast and crew. That's kind of pre-production. It's those steps, those little steps. And then the production is obviously the filming of it. And then post-production is the editing portion. And then the distribution and exposure routes.
I spoke to you earlier off camera, and it's like, you don't know. I spoke to my girlfriend too, and I was like, man, this guy, I don't know what it is about this guy. I'm just totally like, wow.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I think I pride myself in just being genuine. I mean, I think that's all it is. I mean, I don't see myself as, widely different than everyone else. I just want to be real. I want people to know that they matter to me, in whatever way, whatever thing I say and do and where I'm at. That's who I am. And that's, I think a lot has to do with my upbringing, military, and then, various amounts of failures within business arenas, et cetera. I think that all of that has kind of compounded to who I am now. And that's all I am to be, as a genuine guy.
That's awesome. If you couldn't act, obviously, would you return back to realting, and would you do that if you couldn't?
Well, so right now I'm a coach at Orange Theory Fitness.
Yes.
We have 2 locations here in the city of Wichita, and here's a plug for them as well. I know I have probably a handful of clients that are watching because they know they've been really focused on what I'm doing. I'm so happy for that. I came back and I was getting text messages from some of the workers, some of my coworkers, and like, oh my gosh, the clients miss you so much. They keep asking. And so I'm so happy to be back with my clients. I love all of them and appreciate them. I love the owners. I love my fellow coaches, fellow coworkers. So I coach at Orange Theory Fitness. I love it. It is the most phenomenal science-based workout that you can get without spending thousands of dollars somewhere else. So that being said, to answer your question, I think real estate is kind of in the back burner, like far, far, far. I think I think any movements I make in the real estate arena will be to probably buy properties and rent. Or, I talked to Joe, who's probably still watching, about what I would do with a lot of the income that I know I'm going to be making. And that's something that Brad Pitt is actually doing. He's buying homes for the impoverished that can't afford them. And he's helping them get on their feet, type of thing, and mostly in New Orleans. But yeah, that's the only involvement I see myself having in real estate anymore.
Oh, wow. God bless you. That's amazing because, obviously I believe Brad is from New Orleans. He's from the area, no? Originally?
I can only assume. I mean, I could look at his IMDb and tell, but I'm not certain.
Yeah, me neither. But the point is that that's a really good thing because it was such a bad thing, Hurricane Katrina. We even had the after effects up here. I remember working that night at the Hilton, and wow, I couldn't believe the winds that came through. It was crazy. So I could only imagine what was going on down there. Not really imagine. I saw the images, so that was enough.
Yeah, my dad went down there. My dad was in the Army National Guard at the time, and they sent all the relief down there. My dad was down there for I think 2 or 3 months, helping rebuild and help people, get back on their feet, kind of thing.
So let's talk quickly about what you have upcoming. I know you already mentioned a couple of things. Can you talk about the one we talked about off air?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, there are like 3 or 4 projects I'm waiting. I'm on standby for to get the full confirmation before I can say anything.
Okay.
And then like rights, protecting rights and everything, copyrights and stuff. But
Sure.
What we did talk about that was off air was I will be going to Philadelphia to film RITE, Right from Hell, which is another thriller, horror-based. It's very interesting. I picked the script up and I just read all the way through it one sitting. I was pretty blown away. And I'll be working up there. That's going to be August 19th. I'll fly out. The 20th, I'll get there. It'll be 10 full days of shooting, and then I'll come back. And then 3 weeks following that, we're slated to be in North Carolina again, working on a television series called Looking for Change, which is TJ Basham is heading up. Also, he has pulled in James Berberick, who's still watching, I assume, to be the DP and to be a director as well. So yeah, those 2 projects are back to back with, I got 4 weeks, I think, 4.5 weeks before I leave again. And then after that, it's like roughly 3 weeks. So yeah, that's what I am on track for sure confirmed right now this year.
Oh, that's fantastic. Exciting, man. Really exciting. And I'm looking forward to following you and your career. And everybody out there, please, go check out the Beyond Dark Facebook page, and stay tuned for when it's going to be showing. Who knows, in a town near you, maybe. Clinton Harris is a fantastic guy. I wanted to thank him very much for coming on this week. Go ahead. Enough of my rambling.
No, you're fine. You're 100%. I am so grateful for the opportunity again, Sean, and I can only see it going even more excellent from here. And over here on the sidebar that we see that the audience can't see, or maybe they can. Yeah, they can see that. Derek, Michelle on Derek's account, and James, they've also confirmed that the majority of the cast from Beyond Dark will be in Looking for Change, which is comedic based. But also a deep underlying story, Looking for Change by TJ Basham. So that'll come out. We're going to be working on that at the end of September. So yeah, I'm super grateful for the opportunity. I want to thank everybody who decided to hop on here, and everyone who was I was blown away by how many people were like responding. They're like, I want to watch. Can I get the link? It was beautiful. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon, Sean. And there's a lot of people on this feed that are watching that you should definitely look at interviewing as well. A lot of the cast, if not all of them, you could take the time and get great content, great material to be used from the Beyond Dark crew, as well as other projects too. So I'm grateful. Thank you all so much for joining us. I love and appreciate all of you guys. Don't take it for granted at all. Seriously love you guys.